All right, welcome to the Creation to Cash Flow podcast. On this podcast, we discuss strategies to maximize your creativity and help you achieve financial freedom. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Nick.
How's it going?
It's good. I just realized if people are watching the YouTube video, it's like I have a white mic and a white shirt and a white background, and you have a black mic and a black shirt, and it's not black in your background, but it's not white.
It's pretty crazy. We live in a crazy world.
It's
And
like yin and yang.
remember at first when we were doing this, sometimes we were planning it, many times it was just a coincidence, but we were wearing the same color.
Yeah.
What
Is
happened to
this
that?
like good cop, bad cop vibes today?
Yes, a little bit. I'm obviously the good cop.
I'm wearing the white. I think I'm the good cop. Okay, the eye roll.
Um, all right, well, we have a great episode for everyone today. This is our 86th episode. I think we say it every time, but can you believe it?
No, I literally cannot. That's just crazy. I feel like we don't like I forget we even have a podcast.
Thank you to all of y'all who have been showing us some love on it too. We've been seeing a couple of things. Also, a couple of you probably still not have gotten, your reviews in or submitted us a question. Highly encourage you guys to do that because right now we've got an AYQ episode coming your way where we answer you, the listener's question. AYQ, answer your question. That's how we came up with that. We're so clever, obviously. And we have a good one today. What I'm going to do is pull it up and we'll listen to it and we'll dive right in. Are you ready, Michelle?
I am so ready.
All right.
Hi, Nick and Michelle. My name's Mia. I'm a British content creator and I live in Adelaide, Australia. I just want to start off by saying thank you so much for everything that you do in this space. Like your podcast, I will listen to back episodes when I go to the gym. No joke. I think it is the most motivational thing ever. And sometimes it is just exactly what I need to hear on the day, which is so crazy. But yeah, I love listening to your episodes, and I'm going to leave you a 5-star review after this because I've been meaning to do it for like ever. But I'm sat in my car, like I've just come out of the gym now, so I'm literally going to jump on and do it before I leave. So yeah, appreciate you guys and keep doing what you're doing. So my question is, I've worked with brands earlier this year, and I kind of want to know what the sweet spot is like in terms of that time frame of following up with them and seeking out some more work. So brands that I've worked with are like, yeah, love the work, love what you did for us, would love to work together again in the future. But should I be hitting them up a month later, 3 months later? Like, how long would you leave it, or is there not really a time frame on that? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to be a pest and like really annoy them. Um, but I also want to work with them again. So yeah, if you could let me know your thoughts around that, that would be much appreciated. Thank you.
So motivating.
That makes me so happy. That was so awesome of her. Thank you so much for the great message and also for doing her homework and leaving us the 5-star review. I know you guys listen while you're driving and while you're doing things. And that a lot of you have probably been listening to it and you're like, I've been meaning to do it as well. Pause real quick and do it for us because we do these episodes for you guys and it really does help us rank better and it allows us to just do more resources, better quality episodes, all of that good stuff. It helps us. But Michelle, how did you feel at first, just even hearing the first half of this message?
Oh my god, the first half was just motivating for me. I can't help but smile because I'm like, wow, just knowing one person is finding our conversations motivating. That is all I need in life to like be happy and keep going. Like it's crazy the power of our words, the simple things, just sharing what we know can help other people. That is like it just makes me so happy.
It really is so fulfilling, which is why we want that feedback from you guys because we don't hear it in these voice memos and we don't get it in the reviews. We don't hear it at all, right? We might not know if an episode we made just changed your life or helped you see something through a new lens. So to hear that, it's so motivating and exciting. And I'm excited to dive into this topic. If I had to like generalize this topic, I'd almost call it like maintaining relationships, you know? Like her question was very specific about being a content creator and following up with clients, but I think the advice we're about to give, because we're really a mindset podcast for entrepreneurs. So we're going to go a little bit higher level and just talk about maintaining relationships, you know, with clients, with friends, with family. Michelle, where would you want to begin? I feel like there's so much to talk about here.
Should we wait to say the advice specific to brand collabs towards the end and talk more high level right now?
Yeah, so let's start off with like, what do you do when you meet someone successful, Michelle, or what do they do to you? Because this is on kind of my list of talking points here. And like, whenever we meet someone that's just like fantastic or that we're really excited to work with or like it's a new friend, what do they always do?
I come across this a lot in LA. I come across people who are business owners, they're super successful. I've not studied on like intentionally, but I've observed their behaviors. And for example, there's this guy that I met and he has a nonprofit and he puts on charity events and he got to know me. And after we met, he got my number. That night, he texted me saying, "It was so great chatting with you. I would love to include you in some of our upcoming events." And then a month later, he's like, "Hey, we have this event." And then anytime during the holidays, that was 3 years ago, guys. And I still think of him all the time. I met him once. He did not have to ask me what I do. He did not have to know I was a content creator. I did not have to learn about his stuff, but I did ask about it. And now I've donated towards his nonprofit. Not that he was doing this to get donations, but more so like he cultivated a relationship and taught me really how to maintain it. Say something after you meet somebody, get to know them, send them an article. If you meet someone and you're talking about something and they haven't heard about it, make sure to be intentional to get their number or their email, send them the article, stay top of mind. That's one thing I see people do all the time that are successful is they're always, not that they're bombarding or pestering, but they're so intentional that they meet me where I'm at and they share resources that I need or that I would want to know about. And in that way, I truly feel like I was heard and seen in our conversation or in our brand collab or whatever.
Yeah, it's just about being valuable. Like if I had to sum up what you just said, it's like be top of mind and be valuable. And if you do that in your relationships with clients, with friends, with people you meet at networking events, you're always going to win. You're always going to have work and you're always going to be set up for success. Like I love doing little things like that to stay top of mind. And the more personalized, the better. Like texts are wonderful, emails are wonderful, but instead of texts, I do voice memos, as do you, Michelle. Instead of emails, I send Loom videos. Like it's just a whole different level of personalization and it makes people really feel cared for, right? Like this person was not trying to solicit donations from you.
No.
But the fact that he followed up after first meeting you, kept in touch, provided value to you constantly, and even gave you opportunities that you would be interested in, all of a sudden you just feel compelled to make donations to his nonprofit because of the way he maintains the relationship with you.
Yeah, he never even asked me to donate. He offered me something for free to come to this event for free. And I was like, I'm no, like I will come, but I'm going to also pay for my seat at this event. So I feel like it's such a simple practice to always, without any expectation of something in return, always show people that you are seeing them or hearing them or value them. And that could be in so many different ways. But at the end of the day, what did you learn about that person? If it's a brand, what did you create for them? And what do you see that they need help on? What value are you providing them? And if you did deliver assets to them, which we'll get more into answering this specific question towards the end, but if you did deliver assets, are you following up to see how they're performing? Are you asking 30 days later how it did and all of that stuff? And so it's like just the timeline wise, that night, especially if you're at a networking event, that night I would say do something. Go comment on one of their Instagram posts or Facebook posts or go heart their story. that is such a simple way to remind somebody you exist, is just to love whatever they're posting.
I just realized I am a typically like sometimes people put up stuff and I'm like, all right, that clearly doesn't apply to me. Like I don't want to be weird and like that. But 90% of the time, the way I throw around likes on a story or just on a post and I comment on people's things, like I truly just want people to feel that I am there. Even because it happens a lot with people I don't get to see often, but I wish I could see often. But like maybe our lives have gone in different directions and they don't live by me anymore, or I don't live by them, or whatever happened. I will still support these people. I will like everything, and if I'm drunk, it happens 10 times more. Like I will be throwing likes and comments at everybody because I just love that feeling of being top of mind. And then what often ends up happening, these people often end up reaching out or commenting back or doing something that just helps us maintain the relationship. So that's a great point you made. Just like being active on their social media.
Yeah, and also, I don't know, I love doing that because it shows them, like, "Hey, I see you. I see what you're doing. I'm supporting you." A lot of times, I don't know why I do this. I always do this. A lot of times, people in our community that are content creators, they'll be promoting something and I'll go buy it. And I don't even know if I want to use it. I'm not even that excited about it, but I do it to support them. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's like the little things, even the things that are free, like leaving an AYQ voice note for us, rating our podcast show, commenting on a post. Those are such simple things that are free to do. I mean, they cost time, but like how much time do they really cost? A minute. Those things are so impactful for the person on the receiving end. And I know that for myself. And so I know how much I appreciate a comment or a heart on my story or a fire emoji reply. Like that takes 5 seconds, if that. So it's like I try to do that with other people that I truly cherish because I know it'll mean something to them. And the effect of that, the ripple effect of that is, yes, they remember me, but I'm also like, I'm doing this so you know you're remembered too. Like that you know you're valued more than anything.
That's just good advice. Like that's just generally great advice for everyone. I even think I could do a better job at this.
Oh, I could. You said you do it all the time, and when you're drunk, you do it more. I'm the worst. Like, if I am leaving a comment or a fire thing, if I'm on social media, it takes away from me because I forget to do it, but I try to be intentional to do it because it's like I could definitely do it more. Like, I'm probably the worst. And this between us two, I'm probably like a 5% and you're a 95% person.
It could be. I like that you mentioned free ways to do this because, like, sure, you could buy someone's things to support them, but like, I was not always in a place to be doing that. Right now, I'm blessed that I am. The way that I buy merch from people to support them is just ridiculous. Like lemonade stands, oh my god. Like I
Yes.
will bankrupt myself supporting kids with their lemonade stand or kids selling bracelets or whatever it is. Will, our surf coach, I bought every merchandise item he has. He had tote bags, shirts, and sweatshirts. I was like, let's just start with one of each. When I went fishing on Saturday, the guy was wearing like a sweatshirt, like themed for the boat that we were on. I was like, "You guys sell those?" He was like, "I could get you one." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll take one, please." So I just always am looking for little things to do like that, and it just makes people love and appreciate you so much. Like the fact that I bought a $30 sweatshirt might save me hundreds of dollars on my next fishing trip with these people just because they cherish and remember me because I did the little things to go above and beyond. Next time I go fishing, I might save hundreds of dollars because they throw me a special discount or something just because they remember me and I bought a green sweatshirt for 30 bucks.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. I think that it's yes, again, that's not free, but it's those little bitty things that make such a big difference. Like especially with like the holidays coming up. Instead of just going and buying things from Amazon or TikTok shop, like go to a creator you really appreciate, go to their showcase, go to their post and buy from their link. It costs you nothing extra to do that. if you're going to be buying it anyway. And it's just such a simple thing. And if you're a creator yourself doing that, it'll come back around to you. Like, you reap what you sow. So do that intentionally for others. And then just know that someday people will be doing that for you too.
Other free things you could do to maintain good relationships with clients, friends, family, partners, whoever. Give compliments to people more often. Like, that's kind of what we were getting at on social media, but like, if you've got a brand you're working with as a client or whoever it is, why don't you just send them something nice? And just, again, to stay top of mind, because you got to remember, like, on the receiving end of all of your messages, even like with clients and people that pay you, it's just people, and they like to feel appreciated. Everyone likes receiving compliments, and lots of people that you work with probably don't get compliments too often. Like, they're not thrown around much in the business world. Like, people leave reviews and things like that, but like, that's why to start this episode, like, me and Michelle, we now feel like we have a special connection with our lovely listener who left us this message, because it's just a different level of compliment. Like, she said she's going to leave us a 5-star and like a review, and that's amazing. And we really encourage you guys to do that. But like, the fact that we got that voice note from her and she really put a little extra love into it, that's a relationship that now it feels like we have, and it feels like a special relationship. So anyway, thank you, Mia, for setting us up with such a great question and some great compliments. But yeah, I guess to just wrap up, like, the thought that I was saying is that leave people compliments, go the extra mile, and you already are, your clients are going to appreciate you more, your friends are going to appreciate you more, your family's going to. And the other big one I've mentioned this in other episodes, handwritten notes.
The thing too, if you're working with like a big brand, because obviously do this for clients, do this for people you respect, do this for mentors. But if you're working with a big brand, send a handwritten note to their business address. Thank them for the opportunity to create. Tell them what you loved about working with them. Because I doubt there are many people who are content creators who are doing that.
There's probably none. Like, when I first started out in business as a life coach, I would handwrite a letter to not just some of my clients, every single client that I've ever worked with. I had one lady in Portugal, so I had to handwrite a note, scan it, and email it to her, but I still did it. And not only did it essentially make my refund requests go down to zero. Not that I was giving out like a faulty product or anything, but like, in a typical business, like 5% refunds is just common. Like, sometimes things just don't work out. People don't end up using your service or product. I never, ever, ever got refund requests because people knew I actually genuinely care about them. And I'm taking the time to write them a letter and tell them about something I learned from them and how they've helped me become a better coach and things like that. And they're just like, oh my God, like, this is a different quality of service than I'm used to.
Yeah, and one thing you can do too is going back to the working with brands. If you're working with somebody who is the manager of this company you're working with, thank them for being so easy to work with. Like, you already love the brand, but obviously that's not their brand, and it might be their brand, but most of the time it's not their brand. And you could just be like, hey, thank you so much for being a breeze to work with. Here's a $10 Amazon gift card. Like, you can give them something. You can, even if it's just a nice little note, like, you can find them on LinkedIn and connect with them. They have their first and last name in the company they work with. That is such an easy way to make it more personal because, again, yes, it's a business. Yes, it's about the money for the businesses, but the person behind the email is a person and this is their job. And you make it more enjoyable for them to feel appreciated when you show them that appreciation.
On top of that, too, another like avenue I want to start to dive into is doing an enjoyment check with your clients and the people you work with. Because I know some of you are thinking right now, you're like, you want me to handwrite a note to this client? They've been a nightmare. Well, now, when it comes to maintaining relationships, like, sometimes it's also setting boundaries with certain people. It's not always about just like love and kind things. Sometimes you also have to maintain healthy boundaries with certain people or clients. And I mean, I recommend always like take the high ground, be the person to reach out and do the nice thing first. Always, always do that. But you are going to find yourself in scenarios where you're like, I don't want to write these people a letter, that I don't even want to work with them anymore. Then don't.
Yeah.
You know, like maintaining relationships and good relationship practice is also knowing which ones are not serving you.
Exactly. Getting rid of, I was hoping you were going in that direction. I was like, oh gosh, I hope he doesn't say, like, still write them a note. They might need it because, they probably do. But I'm so glad that you were like, it's also about not having that relationship. You need to maintain your relationship with yourself and your joy and your happiness. And saying yes to a relationship you're not enjoying is saying no to one you could enjoy. And that's so important to get rid of those clients or people or that job that is not serving you anymore. It could have been serving you for one period of time. That's why you're there. You were meant to be there. But if you're still holding on to that relationship or that client, oh my God, when I started my business, I had so many headache clients that wouldn't pay very well. And they were the worst to work with. The people with the most penny pinching, like they had that poverty mindset, were so hard to work with. Not everyone, but a lot of them. And I had to learn, like, I'm not leaving money on the table if I get rid of them. No, I'm getting rid of this because it's not a good relationship for me. We don't pair well together. They have someone else out there they will work better with. And I can now find somebody who is going to pay more, who's going to be more enjoyable for my personality. And I did. I sure did. Every time I would get rid of one in faith, be like, you know what? Something better is coming my way. Something better always came my way, like every single time. There was never a time where I let go of something that wasn't making me happy or serving me that I regret. Every time I'm like, I should have done it sooner.
And that makes perfect sense because dropping that headache client frees you up to go send more love to the clients that you do like. And then I guarantee more opportunities are going to come your way, or more pay, or just more joy. And then you're going to show up better and be able to make them more money. And then you make more money. Like it just has a net positive effect when you cut out the relationships that aren't serving you in your business, in your life, in your relationships, and you start putting more energy into the ones that you are grateful for.
Yep, exactly. And this goes for brand collabs too. We're not saying send every brand an email after your collab. No, only the ones you really enjoy. Because whenever holidays come around, guess who they're going to think about reaching out to? Or guess who you're going to reach out to and prep for holiday specials, holiday deals, anything like that. Like oh, you take up space. If you're reaching out to one you didn't enjoy but they paid you well, you're taking that space for someone else that could enjoy working with them, that they're really meant to be in that seat. So just do this for people you truly love, truly enjoy working with, that feel like were they added value to you and you're able to add value to them. It's a mutual beneficial relationship that we're discussing about maintaining.
The next thing we can dive into is a bit of a confidence check. This is really important in business because sometimes you have to look yourself in the mirror, especially as a content creator, and honestly address if you provided enough value and you're proud of the work that you did for one of your clients. Because there are going to be times where you worked with someone and you're like, oh, they were so good to work with. But like when I look at myself in the mirror, I know I didn't really deliver like the best I was capable of for them. Well, this is your chance. Take the high road. If that's the case, go make them extra content, or go let them know like what's going to be different next time and what you learned from this one. There's so many different things you can do, but you have to be able to look yourself in the eyes honestly and address, did you provide everything they needed and more? Because if the answer is yes, it becomes very easy to maintain these relationships. And if the answer is no, and you know that maybe you fell short of what you're capable of, you've got to do something to now make up for that. To maintain this relationship, you're going to need to deliver something extra.
Yeah, and if you are dreading doing that, then don't do it. But also know you might not get that opportunity. You might not get that relationship built. But I've talked about it before, but that collaboration I got, that was a free collab, and they just asked for, I think it was like one video and three photos or something, and I delivered like 46 photos, five different reels. They came back to me after that free gifted collab, and we kept working together, and then I got a $110,000 collaboration with them, and it was an ongoing relationship, and it was insane because it all started from that. But they were like, "You were the only creator that delivered really high quality content and just went above and beyond for us. Like, we could tell you enjoyed our products, and now we have all this budget and we need marketing, and so can you make content for us?" So I did UGC for them, and it was 8 months, was $110,000, which is crazy. So, like, don't underestimate the power of this. I'm not saying everything will lead to that, but what if it does? Isn't it worth it?
Yeah, you can't keep taking in relationships and then expect them to give to you. Like, you have to sometimes not only make sure you delivered everything you were supposed to, but sometimes giving that little bit extra makes them feel like they owe you something, and then you get something nice or another opportunity in return. So it's just good relationship practice to just always over deliver. And that could mean a lot of things. Like, it could just be like we talked about last episode or maybe the episode before. Like, when I came to Michelle's penthouse to stay with her for who knew how long it was going to be, like, she made me feel so welcomed and went above and beyond to like set me up with like a care package to start this trip. So then when I'm leaving this trip, I'm handwriting letters to Michelle and her husband thanking them. And it's just like we're always one upping each other with like sending each other a book or a this or a that. And it's why we have such a great relationship that doing this podcast comes with ease, is because we're always those people that are taking the high road, sharing our appreciation for each other, talking about everything that like we're grateful for. So you guys could learn a lot just from thinking about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so crazy to think about, but all the friends in my life, we randomly, so I have some neighbors that are my best friends. Like, they're coming over tonight. Like, they're my best friends. There's two different couples. There's really three, but there's two that I'm always hanging out with. And randomly, we will buy each other flowers and get them delivered. We will, like, I made dark chocolate covered strawberries for my best friend the other night with a handwritten note for her because she's been working really hard. She's a business owner. Dropped them off at her doorstep and like rang the doorbell and left. And it's like these little things where we like think of each other, we buy each other gifts, we are always just doing that. And it's not that we're doing it to get anything in return, we're just those kinds of people. So you want to be friends with people like that. You want to be having your circle have this kind of habit and this mindset where it's like, we're all really busy business owners, but we show each other that we are thinking of one another and that we appreciate one another by doing these little things. My mom doesn't live in the same state as me. She's in Texas. She sends me random jewelry. There's this flower ring I'm wearing that says love from mom that she got engraved in it. And it was just randomly sent to me last month or the month before because she's like, I'm just thinking about you. I'm proud of you. I love you. Like, she'll send me random deliveries, Erewhon smoothie deliveries. My friends will always like surprise each other with Erewhon smoothies. Like, be this kind of person in your life, and you'll start attracting other people like that into your life, business and personal.
I did this with my neighbors the other day after I went fishing Saturday and had a great day, caught a ton of huge fish, brought home a ton of striped bass. My neighbors across the street from me, they love to grill and they grill fish all the time. They're very healthy, health conscious, selfless people. Like, they are so friendly. They're such good neighbors. Like, when I first moved here, they were just so welcoming. So I texted him and I was like, Kevin, are you home? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, great. Come outside. And I gave him a huge bag of fresh fish. And he was like, that is just so nice that you thought of us. And then he sent me a picture the next day of when they cooked it. And they had a great meal. And like, I know I wasn't doing it for anything in return, but like, I know I'm going to get something in return. And then I can't wait to give them something back. And even if they don't give anything to me, next time I have a chance, I'm going to bless them again because that's what you do to maintain good relationships with your neighbors, with your people, with everyone.
Yeah, this is just, I walk through life meeting people and I'm like, if we become like, if we keep this conversation, there's something I'm gonna think about. If I'm shopping, I'm gonna think of them and get it for them. I do this all the time, and honestly, it brings me so much joy, but it's also so value adding to humanity to do this for people. it's so simple too. Like, I love that you brought them fish. It's funny because when you were saying that, I was like, that sounds like you live in the South. Like, the South is known for these, like, neighborly, Southern, like, welcoming, hospitable things, but it's so funny because it's not the South. Yes, people in the South are like that, but people in the South are not like that. Plenty of people in Los Angeles, California are like that, including me and all the people in my circle. So it's like, you be that person. You don't need to live in the South to be this kind neighbor. Yes, I keep to myself. I'm a hard worker. People always think I'm from New York, but I have this, like, Southern, quote unquote, I don't know what it's called, but it's like this principle of put others first or think of others. It's not all about you. And I think that's translated across the world. It's not just a Southern thing, even though that's a stereotype. But trust me, you move there, you'll find people that are not that way. And that's true for everywhere. So be that person, be the Southern person wherever you live.
It's so fun. It really feels so good to do things like that for people and to just like, especially when it's not expected. Everyone loves surprises.
Yeah.
Especially me. That's my love language is
Mine too.
surprises. Yours
Mine too.
too?
Yeah, but gifts and acts of service, but, like, surprising me with gifts or surprising me with something nice that you did for me. Those are my 2 love languages, like, through and through. Yes.
So I guess that's kind of it. Like we're starting to hit on a lot of the same things now. One thing I could say too is like I know Mia's looking for some specifics as to like, but how many days after we work together do I send like the follow ups? When it comes to content creation, like it depends, right? Whether you're just trying to follow up to be nice and be top of mind, like we're saying, or if it's because you're looking for the results, right? Like, how did this go? I would love to know how this went for you guys, how the content performed, what you learned from it, so that next time I can do even better. And that's where like the confidence check comes in, where you need to almost cater your follow-ups with clients based on how it honestly went. And sure, you might have to ask them about that, but like if you could tell by their attitude that they're like a little bit disappointed and they're like, oh, nothing yet. Like, we'll let you know if it makes any sales. Now you know to cater your follow up and be like, hey, y'all, like this collaboration really meant a lot to me. And like, I'm deeply saddened by the fact that I haven't made any sales for you guys yet. So I made 2 other videos, or I just recorded some extra hooks for you guys. I'd love if you could also start testing them too, because the main thing I want to do is make this collaboration a home run so that not only do we get to work together again, but you're actually excited to because of the results. So like there's so many little things you can do, but do that confidence check and figure out like or a temperature check almost to feel like where are they at temperature wise so you can cater that follow up. The timing is less important.
Yeah, the timing is less important, but let me give a good example just because it sounds like she really wants to work with them moving forward. She wants to work with them again. After you've turned in all the assets and invoices are paid, that is the first time to follow up with a simple thank you. Don't ask for anything, just thank them for the opportunity. If you put this on your socials, if it's UGC and you didn't originally have that in the contract, but if you do, follow up. I would say a month later is a good time to follow up. And if this is true and you're like, oh my God, I couldn't stop thinking about this. I've been using this. And you know what? I have 5 more ideas for you guys, and I would really love to work together again. Can I send over my ideas for us to work together again? And typically, you're doing all the homework for them. So they're going to be like, sure, I would love to hear your ideas. But also, the holidays are a really good time to follow up. Any specials, a lot of times there's like Valentine's Day specials, 4th of July specials, like depending on the product, always Black Friday specials. So there's different times of year you can follow up as well, not just the right after, 1 day after, plus 30 days after. But just know that, like, also commenting on their social media and actually following them and tagging them on your stories and stuff, that is also a great way to simply follow up with them, is just to stay interacting with them as well.
It's perfect. It just makes them feel so different about you because like obviously every creator wants to work with brands more often that paid on time and they like the product, but like what do you do to stand out and make the person on the other end love working with you? You know, because if your results aren't there, but you do a great job of truly just like actually caring about the people and you know that like the mission is aligned and they actually feel that from you, they're more likely to keep working with you, even if you're not the best fit. Like, I often hire not just based on ability, right? Like, people need to meet certain criteria for me to hire them, but like, I also just want people that like actually care, and I know that like I'm going to care about them, they're going to care about the people on my team because they relate. Like, there's so much more that goes into this, and when it comes to like clients and business, a lot of the times people just work with other people they like.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's I'm a no I'm an emotional hirer as well because I can train somebody with a good heart that is ready to learn, that's coachable, teachable, and wants to do it. It's not as easy to work with somebody that knows everything, that is like rigid and doesn't care about what they're doing. Like, I don't really want to work with people like that, especially in our industry. Our industry is always changing. So if somebody is really good at what they do, but they don't really love it, it's not going to last. It is a short term thing. And honestly, I don't want to invest in something that's not going to last.
No, neither did other people. Don't want to invest in things that they know aren't going to last either. So I think that's all the best practices for you, Mia. Um, Reminder to everyone else, you could have one of these episodes too. If you go to creation2cashflow.com, that's creation to cashflow.com, leave us a voice memo and ask us your mindset question or your business question, or give us a scenario that you've been struggling with, and we'll see if we could turn it into an episode for you. And do your homework, maintain the relationship with us, give us that 5-star review, subscribe to the show, share it with someone, put it on your story, like whatever you can and are able to do. Maintain the relationship with us because we love it, and then we also see that stuff, we see it, we love it. It makes us, it just reminds us that like you guys are getting value, and that's why we do this. We don't run any ads on the show. We do it every single week. This is our 86th week in a row doing this. It's all for you guys, so maintain the relationship with us.
Yep.
And if you want to find more of us or watch on YouTube or see some of our short form clips, you can just find us at Creation to Cashflow on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. If you want to find more of Michelle, great time during the holidays. Michelle puts up all sorts of good content that will improve your life. Go check out her Instagram and TikTok and her everything else at Michelle JH. That's Michelle with 2 L's, 4 E's, JH. And you can find me on Instagram and TikTok and almost everywhere else at Get Ahead with Nick. We love you guys so much. Thanks for listening.